Hi guys, welcome back to another Wardle Road video, and we've got again another review from Oxford Rail. This time, instead of the wagons, we've actually got this lovely J27 to look at. They very kindly sent this to me for me to DCC fit and review, so that's what we're going to be doing today. DCC fitting wise, we're going to be installing the Zen Black DCC Concepts decoder, the 21 pin decoder, as well as the DCC Concepts Zen Black Stay Alive. Now all of this is plug and play, so this should be the fairly simple side of it, and then we're going to have a look at the detailing, the paint, the livery, and get some running as well, and then at the end we'll give it an overall rating. So hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of content. Again, it's on the 00 gauge stuff. I know a lot of you guys prefer the 5-inch gauge stuff, but I'm trying to keep a fair balance of both. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you do, please hit the thumbs up, and of course if this is your first time here, please do subscribe, and any feedback in the comments will be very much welcome. So other than that, let's get straight into the review. So here we have it, the Oxford Rail J27. Now this has been out a little while now, so it's not a new product on the market as such. Still available on their website and from many other retailers. However, I have yet to get my hands on one, so this is a first for me, and one has yet to run on either County School or Wardle Road. So really excited to get this out. It's in a lovely livery as well, the early BR. So hopefully good things to come from this. So we'll open it up and see what it's like. So we've taken it out the second box, and there it is sat there. Now, as I said, there is a detailing pack in there, and straight away I can see what looks like a possible spare connector rod between the tender and the main body of the loco, and I can also see some 3-link couplings in there as well, and some firing tools actually as well. So they might be some extra details for us to add on. Then of course it comes with the instruction manual, which tells you how to tells you where the decoder is fitted and how to remove the body of the tender to fit the decoder. So it's located in this area here, so we don't need to spend too much time reading that. So we've got it out the box now, and first thoughts, to start with, first thing of course is there's no damage to it at all, which is always nice to see something out of the box. You never want to open it and find a part or a detailing bit fall off. Things that have intrigued me the most are the lovely lamp irons on the front and the rear. They're done really nicely, and also, which we'll get some close-ups of, is the tons and tons of detail inside the cab. All of the brake rigging for the front set of wheels, and also on the tender as well. You might be able to see some of the brake rigging under there. So they haven't gone short of detail. Like we saw on the wagons previously, the detail on the underside was fantastic, and once again here they haven't skimped out on doing any of the details underneath. You've got all of the brake mechanism under here and under here as well. Now, looking over here at the coupling, the rear coupling is actually underneath some of this brake rigging here, so I'll be interested to see how easy that is to get out, and whether we're going to have to move or bend any of this brake rigging at the back here to try and remove that coupling. The other thing as well, if I move it along here, you see the plug is again on the underside of the brake rigging here, so that might be a little bit fiddly to remove as well, but hopefully we won't have to touch that throughout this video. So looking at it from the top, at the moment obviously this area here is far too clean and neat. There is obviously some remnants of coal in the base of the tender just there. However, I think when it comes to getting this on the layout, I'd like to ideally fill this area up with coal a little bit more, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Detailing wise on the tender as well, you've got all of even the handle where the water goes into the back of the tender is on there, and you've also got the detailing of the mechanism to control the brakes on the tender, as well as the water feed for the 2 injectors as well, is also located on the front of the tender there. The other thing just to note as well, as I'm just moving it around here, there's quite a lot of weight to this loco as well, which is really nice. So hopefully that means for a large amount of pulling power. The other thing I was looking at as well is the coupling hooks. Now on the coupling hooks, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it on the camera here, but there is a tiny little hole at the back of the hook, which I think is designed to permanently have these 3-link coupling hooks in. However, it doesn't look like you can break the coupling hooks without the 3 links without cutting them. So perhaps if you want them permanently in there, then you'd have to cut open one of the chain links, put it through there, and then sort of bend it or glue it back into place. But obviously the opportunity is there for that to happen. And of course, for anyone asking in the comments, yes, they are sprung buffers. So I'm going to rate it as we go along. As I said, the 3 categories we went for on the wagons were livery, the bodywork, detailing and running. Now detailing is going to get a straight 9 out of 10 for me. I think the detailing on this is absolutely fantastic. Like I'd have said, personally I'd preferred a larger coal section in the back here, but maybe there was a particular reason as to why they kept the moulding like that. So I'm definitely going to add some coal to that. Livery and bodywork, again, it's not far off being absolutely perfect. Again, the cab really kind of sets the standard really for the rest of the loco, and like I pointed out, the detailing on the front and the rear, and all the brake mechanisms on the tender and the main body as well. We're probably going to give that, let's say, we'll give that an 8.5. And then the last thing we want to do is look at running. And to run this, we're going to have to DCC fit it. So the next step of the video now is going to be DCC fitting. So if you have skipped from the start of the video, like I mentioned at the start, there's 2 parts of this. We'll be looking, the first part was looking at the actual loco itself and the quality of the loco. The second half is the DCC fitting. So if you've just joined us, if you skip straight to this part, then welcome to this part of the video. As I said at the start, the DCC components we'll be using to fit this will be the DCC Concepts Zen Black decoder, 21 pin. And of course, when you buy that, it also comes with a wiring harness as well for the extra functions. And of course, if you want to use it with 8-pin loco instead, there's that option there. And then we also have the Zen Black medium size Stay Alive. And again, like I said at the start, this is all plug and play. So hopefully this should be a fairly straightforward install, and something that you guys can definitely do at home. So we flipped the loco over here, and as you might be able to see on the camera here, we have a retaining screw here and a retaining screw here for the tender. Now, I mentioned earlier that some of this stuff is underneath the brake rigging, so we're going to have to be extra careful when removing these, but hopefully once we've popped these 2 screws off here, the tender body should just move away from the chassis fairly easily, and we'll be able to get the decoder in. So just like that, we have the decoder fitted in there. Again, it was quite a nice snug fit over the pins. And like I said, to keep to the plug and play aspect, we're going to leave the wires as is. But if you really wanted to, you could trim these back if you felt they were a little bit too long. But to keep to the plug and play aspect, we're just going to either tape them to the base there, or possibly tape them on the inside of the tender body. But before we do that, I'm just going to move it over to the track behind us here, and then we're going to take a little closer look at programming it up and making sure it works before we reassemble it all. So bear with me 1 second and we will be on the rolling road. So after realising that I probably should have cleaned this track before putting the loco on there, I've now used the trusty track rubber and cleaned that. And I've also managed to get this, so when I push on the front of this tender here, the front of the body doesn't move. So that might have been just a bit of a defect as when I've been picking it up and moving it about, as obviously they're quite fragile between the tender and the body there. As you can see now there, when I push on the front of that, nothing moves. So hopefully you should be able to see the Z21 app on the iPad. If I put a little bit of power into that, we get some movement, and the other way, which is fantastic. But having a look at this as it is now, I think what I'm definitely going to do is add some form of wheel weights perhaps to the underside of this tender, just so there's a little bit more weight on the wheels and the pickups to the rails, as this side here is extremely heavy, whereas this side sits a little bit light. So I think with a little bit of weight on that, just to ensure it never lifts off the rails, I think that will improve the running. Right, so you've drawn me back a little bit later, and we've given the loco a little time to run in both directions at various speeds, just to make sure the loco is running nicely. Now, I mentioned earlier about the weight of the back of the tender. Now, having added the tender body back to the chassis, it's a little bit heavier. Obviously, you can add some weight to it, and once I put some real coal in the top of here, that'll add a little bit more weight. But so far, I haven't actually found the need to add any extra weight to the top to make sure it stays with a nice amount of pressure against the rails. But other than that, the only other issue I had was when taking this body off, there are 3 tail lamp brackets at the back here. Now this body slides along just a couple of millimeters when you lift it off, and I just knocked accidentally one of the brackets off, so I'm just going to have to glue that back on shortly. But other than that, the only other bit to look at, be careful not to knock, is the little footplate bit between the body and the tender, and that just folds down and folds up out of the way when you want to disconnect it. So that's a really nice little feature that it's not fixed in position, so plenty of movement on that. What we're going to do now, I think, is move it onto the main track and get some running shots. So enjoy this little segment, and I'll see you back here shortly. So hopefully you guys did enjoy that running session on both the Wardle road layout and the county school layout. Extremely pleased with the performance of the J27. Now I don't know if that made a difference by running it in for so long beforehand, or whether that was the quality of the decoder, or I mean it could have been a whole different variant of factors there, but the loco itself ran absolutely beautifully, both in fast and slow speeds as well, which I was super pleased with. My only issue, I think, again with the whole thing itself, is probably the weight on the tender. I still found, even just going over a couple of points and things, I found the tender perhaps a little bit light on its wheels, but I think adding a little bit of weight to that would resolve that problem. As I mentioned before, I had an issue slightly with the coupling rod between these two, and I realised that I'd bent it ever so slightly, so I've moved that back into position and loosened it a tad, and that gave the tender a little bit more freedom to move while on the track. So that brings us to the ratings. Now earlier I said about the livery bodywork detailing. I'm going to bring the livery and bodywork, just because of the lightness of the tender, I'm actually going to bring that down to an 8. The detailing is going to stay a 9, because I think the detailing on this, especially in the cab as well, as you've seen from the video today, is really something phenomenal. And the running quality, again, I'm going to give this a 9. So I hope you have enjoyed today's review. Again, reviews are something I'm pretty new to, so if there's any feedback you want to leave, please do leave it in the comment section below. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, please do hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to check out Oxford Rail in the description, as well as DCC Concepts for their decoder and stay alive, and to Preserved Railway, their channel, for allowing me to use some of the clips of the J27. Other than that, I will see you all in the next video. Hopefully you did enjoy, and yeah, I look forward to reviewing some more products in the future. Take care.